Hey everyone, it's SpursRail96 here. Hope you're doing well out there. Welcome to another Train Sim World news video. Today I thought I'd take a look at one of the new routes that is coming with the Train Sim World 6 package that is due to be released in under 2 weeks' time. The route in question is set in the northeast of the United States of America, the Morristown line. So let's take a look at the details. The Morristown line dates back to the 1830s when New Jersey locals needed a connection to New York City. The line accelerated in popularity, no surprise, among passengers, being extended to Dover by 1848. As time passed and companies merged, it became part of the many electrified lines into New York and Hoboken Terminal, and today is a frequent commuter line operated by New Jersey Transit. Unfortunately, the full Morristown line is not available in Train Sim World. We're only getting a 40-mile section from New York Penn and Hoboken Terminal to Dover. The 17.5-mile unelectrified section from Dover to Hackettstown is not included, unfortunately. The route, scenery-wise, is a tale of two halves, with the dense urban environment of New York City slowly fading away into the more suburban setting of New Jersey. New York Penn is the busiest railroad station in the Western Hemisphere, located beneath the famous Madison Square Garden, serving up to 600,000 passengers a day. The addition of Hoboken Terminal brings another thriving station to this part of the country in Train Sim World, being one of the busiest passenger terminals in North America. From here, trains head through the 1908 Bergen tunnels, through Newark and Orange, to ultimately reach Dover Station. The electrified section of the Morristown line heads through plenty of small town stations with a mix of low-level and high-level platforms over a distance of 40 miles. Newark Broad Street offers a place for the deluxe edition ALP-45 dual power locomotive to change from diesel to electric power, and vice versa. And Kearney Connection offers likewise between voltages for the ALP-46 electric locomotive, which comes as standard with the route. Of particular interest to Dovetail is the inclusion of Dover and Chatham stations, named for their equivalent towns in Kent, the United Kingdom. What about the trains then? What's coming with this route? And also we'll touch on the Digital Deluxe loco as well. So new to Train Sim World is the classic New Jersey Transit Arrow-free electric multiple unit, one of the staples of the Morristown line. This train was born to run on electrified commuter routes and is also known as the Jersey Arrow. Original designs for this fleet of electric rail cars date back as far as 1968 for glory days for the Pennsylvania Railroad, although the latest third-generation units were built in 1977. The metal body is evocative of many other classic American trains from history, adorned only with the New Jersey Transit logos and stripes, plus the American flag near the cab. Hoboken Division Arrow Frees are denoted by a 25 kV sticker adorned on each cab end, meaning they are set up for 25 kV use, as opposed to Newark Division's 12 kV electrification. This rudimentary cab makes this train a little tougher than the rest, with a simpler controls that demand a change in approach to operating other US trains and locomotives. There is no reverser in the Arrow-free cab, simply a handle that turns clockwise for forward to the left of the engineer's position and a brake to the right. Also included is the modern electric ALP-46 locomotive with multi-level coaches and cab cars. These were previously seen on the Northeast Corridor New York to Trenton route, which released back in Train Sim World 3. Players opting for the Train Sim World 6 Digital Deluxe Edition will be able to take the helm of a brand new locomotive and my favourite locomotive of the New Jersey Transit fleet, the ALP-45 dual power locomotive, running services throughout the route. The 45 dual power locomotive is a modern and innovative locomotive that entered service in early 2010, replacing aging diesels. It is fitted with both a pantograph and a diesel engine for dual-mode operation. This makes the locomotive capable of running across New Jersey's unelectrified lines. It's such a shame then that the unelectrified section from Dover to Hackettstown was included and we get more out of the diesel engine. Oh well. In-game, this changeover takes place for both AI and playable trains at Newark Broad Street. A sequence of tasks while stationary in service will allow the player to switch from diesel to electric and vice versa in a similar manner to how the Class 395 Javelin service operate at Ebbsfleet International on the Southeastern High-Speed route. The changeover is dealt with here, as Hoboken Terminal has a Cooper-lined roof, copper-lined roof, and the raising of pantographs in real life brings a very real risk of arcing. Signage is in place around the route ahead of Newark Broad Street to denote the changeover of power. Unlike the ALP-46 electric locomotive, the ALP dual power locomotive is only a single cab locomotive to make room inside for the two turbocharged monstrous V12 engines, which combined are able to produce 4,200 horsepower. When making use of the overhead wires, the ALP-45 can draw power from both the Morristown Division's 25 kV wires and Newark's 12 kV setup, allowing them to operate to and from both Hoboken Terminal and New York Penn Station. Conductor mode is also available on all of the included New Jersey Transit stock, as well as the ALP-45 dual power locomotive. This loco add-on will be available to purchase separately once TrainSim World 6 has been released, if you haven't had a chance or you can't afford to acquire the locomotive at this time. What about gameplay, services, scenarios, all that kind of jazz? Well, we'll start with the timetable. The type of services available to operate in service mode include Newark Division trains using the ALP-46 and Arrow 3 that run onto the Northeast Corridor. There are also depot movements to Sunnyside Yard included. Hoboken Division trains using the Arrow 3 that run to Summit and Dover, including Hoboken Terminal to Gladstone services running as far as Dover. ALP-46 services running New York Penn to Dover, with some services going to Hoboken Terminal. Loco-hauled ALP-45 dual power locomotive services running from Hoboken Terminal to Dover, then travelling out of the map to destinations at Denville, Mount Olive, Lake Hopatcong and Haggardstown. With the ALP-45 dual power locomotive, Hoboken Terminal to Dover services are split in two. From Hoboken Terminal to Newark Broad Street, these services will run on diesel power. Players will then switch to electric mode and continue the rest of the journey to Dover under overhead electric wires. AI Arrow 3 services representing the 12 kV trains will be running in and out of the map at New York Penn, but will not encroach onto the Morristown line. All of the above are included in a schedule covering all different times of day. Additional playable and AI layers will also be available for players with the following TrainSim World compatible add-ons. Playable Amtrak ACS 64 depot movements using Northeast Corridor New York to Trenton route. Playable Amtrak Acela depot moves, AI services at New York Penn using both of those above add-ons, and AI traffic from the Long Island Railroad commuter at New York Penn. Dovetail initially alluded to the existence of AI or static freight layers in the game. Unfortunately, these have not been implemented for launch, so hopefully they will be added in a patch shortly after the game is released. As far as scenarios go, there are a total of 8 on the Morristown line, 5 for the route itself, and 3 more with the ALP-45 dual power locomotive. These are set in a range of times and weather conditions, with the ALP-45 scenarios utilising both diesel and electric power modes. Mastery challenges are also included, requiring you to perform certain tasks on a route to unlock a couple of scenery tiles. Tier 1 unlocks some posters, and Tier 2 unlocks a toggable scenery tile. So yeah, that concludes this video. I have to say, a little bit disappointed. You would expect by now that the full Morristown line will be portrayed in TrainSim World. It's 67.5 miles long. We've had much longer routes than that, which kind of, in effect, damages the usability of the ALP-45 dual power locomotive, because in real life, obviously, we get the section, going from Hoboken Terminal to Newark Broad Street in diesel power, then you change over to electric power, go all the way to Dover, and then once you reach Dover, you change back to diesel power and carry all of the way to Haggardstown. So it just begs the question, what's the point having the 45 dual power when majority of the route is going to be operated using electric power? So you might as well just stick with the 46. But I am pleased to see the 45 in TrainSim World. It's my favourite locomotive from the New Jersey Transit fleet, and I've wanted to see it in a long time, and I'm happy it's in the game. Hopefully it can be used on another New Jersey route where we can get a bit more out of that turbocharged twin V12 diesel engine. But there we are. That concludes this video. If you'd enjoyed it, then feel free to hit the thumbs up button below, and if you are watching for the first time, I'd appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.